Welcome to Dewlan.com. Today we'll be building a super simple iron farm that is compatible for 1.15 and 1.16. This farm can be built within the first couple of hours of playing in a world, provided that you find a village. A few important notes before we get started today. Any iron farm needs to be at least 150 blocks away from any village, and at least 100 blocks away from any other iron farms, which sounds like a lot, but it's actually just about a stack and a half of blocks when placed in a line. The original design this is based off of is by Shulkercraft, but I have modified it to work better, provide more iron golem spawning spaces, and not let any golems escape at the bottom. Alright, so let's go ahead and get started with this farm now. So the first thing that you're going to want to do is build up with scaffolding. A good rule of thumb I like to do is about 32 blocks. It makes it so that when the iron golems die, it's far enough away that the villagers don't notice. It's not in their immediate area. So once you get to the top here, you're going to go 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and then 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. And then you put a block on the middle there and surround that block in trapdoors. Now I'm using spruce trapdoors here. The kind of trapdoor doesn't matter. I just think that spruce trapdoors look really cute. And so now you're going to go to the end of those scaffolding bits that you just did. And you're going to go 1, 2, 3, 4. And then put a set of blocks on each side of that. So you get this little 4x3 platform on the edge of the scaffolding. And now you're going to put some beds on those blocks there, carpets in front of that, and then a workstation of any kind. I'm going with composters here because they're super simple to craft. Side note, in 1.16, you can actually just use regular blocks here, that you don't need workstations to spawn an iron golem in 1.16, but because of simplicity's sake and for 1.15, we'll use workstations here. And then you'll put some trap doors on the sides here so that the villagers can't escape once they wake up from their little nap. And then you'll go to this workstation here, build up 1, 2, and then take a slab on that second block and cover this whole platform here, leaving a little hole above this carpet here so that you can transport your villagers easier. And then you will basically, you'll break these blocks down here, except for the ones with the carpet on it, and this side is pretty much done for the time being. So now what you'll do is you'll just copy this design over to the other side. So at this point in time, this is what your design should be looking like. Go ahead and pause the video if you need to make sure that your design matches this one, but what you see is what you get. There's nothing really hidden here. We're going to focus our attention now to the middle for a little bit. We'll come back to these sides later. So with this middle, first thing you're going to want to do is place down a cauldron, and that's actually the only cauldron in the build. And then you're going to go 1, 2, and place a little slab there. And then you'll put trap doors on that second block and close them all. This is where we're going to house our zombie. Go ahead and break those blocks inside as well. At this point, you can put the zombie in, but we're going to focus on building the platform first. So above this slab, you're going to put down a block, and then 1, 2 on that side, and 1, 2 on that side. And then on this side, we're going to put 2 sets of blocks. And then on this side, we're going to do 1 set of blocks, and then we're going to put trap doors right here and close them. So this is what it looks like from the side here. And then that's what it looks like from the top here. So it's like a 5x5 platform with this block being the middle, except this side, instead of solid blocks, are trapdoors. And now we're going to grab our fences, our fence gates, our torches, and our water here, and we can get the main spawning platform set up. So on this side, you're going to put down 5 fences, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 here. Make sure that you put a fence where the trapdoor would be right there. And then we'll do the same thing on the other side here. Once you have your fences in place, go ahead and pop down some torches on these fences so no baddies spawn on this platform. And then out the back here, we're actually going to put a temporary block, and we're going to put down some fence gates right here, just 5 of them. And then we're going to open them up and break that temporary block. And then we're actually going to do the same thing on this side. So I'm going to open this trapdoor here, place down a temporary block, and then put down 5 fence gates. Open up all of those fence gates, close the trapdoor, and break that temp block, and this main spawning area is actually pretty much done. Now we just put water here, here, and here. This creates infinite water sources along the back, and then pushes the iron golems out to here. So the reason that we do it this way is this gives the maximum amount of spawning spaces possible for the iron golems. Like you have this space, this space, this space, this space, and then everything in between, and they all get pushed to the same area. And now comes what is arguably the most annoying part of the iron farm, moving in the villagers here. Now, you don't have to use a rail, but it is like the most reliable way to do it. But fear not, you don't have to worry about all of that gold and going into powered rails and stuff, because there's actually a block that really goes overlooked in the game that is super useful for this very occasion, and that's actually furnace minecarts. A lot of people forget that these are still in the game. They're really simple, and they can actually be built on day one. You know, it's just 5 iron and 8 cobble and a piece of coal to power it. So get a villager in a minecart, and then get your furnace minecart and give it like a piece of coal, and it will push that villager all the way up. And even if it starts to fall back down, that furnace minecart will just push it right along, and you don't have to worry about anything. Villager will fall right in, get his profession, and you can break him out of that minecart right there. And you see he just jumps into here because there's nowhere else for him to go. And then you can get 2 other villagers in there so that there are 3 villagers on each side. So let's just go ahead and simulate that here. And then after that, make sure to fill in the top where you dropped your villagers in from, and break all of the stuff that you used to get them up there, pretty much. After all of your villagers are in, you can lure a zombie in. You can get him like in a soul sand elevator and push him in here, or you can just pillar up, with a staircase up and get him in there. Whatever you need to do to get him in, but just make sure that you name him so that he doesn't despawn. And if you close the trapdoors, you don't have to worry about any iron golems spawning. So now this is where like the original design pretty much ends and my modifications start. So every so often, iron golems will actually spawn on these platforms as well. And so what I recommend you do is you do something very similar to what you do to this. So you do 4 fences on along the slabs here, and you can torch them up so no mobs spawn, and make sure you do that on the other side. Out the back here, place down your temporary block and put in your fence gates, and then open them. You'll only need 3, and then do the same thing on this side as well. You don't need any trapdoors or anything because they'll just slide right off from this area. So this side is pretty much done. Now, a big thing to note, if you try and right click here with a water bucket, you'll actually waterlog this slab and wash away the carpet. So a quick workaround for that is to just place down a solid block here, and then put down a bucket of water here and a bucket of water here, and then break that middle block, and it'll actually create an infinite source and push everything this way. And now just repeat that on the other side, and this top part is done. After everything is put in place, this is what it should look like. Go ahead and pause the video if you need to double check that you built this correctly, but that is the top part completely done. And now we're going to work on the collection area for where the iron golems will fall. So first off, we get to do the super satisfying thing and break the scaffolding. Oh, isn't that great? And now you're going to line yourself up with what I'm going to be calling the zombie block, basically the middle of the farm here where the zombie is, and you'll break 3 blocks down, and then you'll do a 3x3 square with the zombie block as the middle. So once you have that, you can stand in the middle here and double check that, yep, that's still the middle there. And then this next part is a little confusing. So the design is going this way, so you're going to want to go perpendicular and build the next part of this. So with the beds going this way, like left to right, you'll want to turn and have this next part be left to right. So you'll go 1, 2, 3, 4, and then dig out that area right here, 2 blocks deep. So again, on this side, you go 1, 2, 3, 4, and then dig out this area, but make sure that it is 2 blocks deep. So when you look at this area, you'll see that it is like the opposite direction of the farm up above. And the reason we do that is because you see a majority of the iron golems will be falling from this platform here, and they'll be falling here. So we want the biggest collection area to be right here. So that's the next part of this. We're going to go 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, and complete this square here. And we'll dig this area out just 1 block down. After digging out that area there, you should see something like this with that 8 by 11 area right there, followed by this trench and then another 8 by 11 area. And if you look up, you'll see that that now is kind of parallel with the farm. So now what you'll do is just go in and out the back here, you will fill in this back end with water, and you'll do the same on the other side. This will basically push all the iron golems towards the center here. And you'll take some signs and you'll place some like this, and then you'll hold down shift and basically put the signs on top of each other. And then after that, you can put down the water on this side so that the water doesn't flow into where the lava will eventually be. So the lava is actually going to go on this layer right here, but we don't want to place that in yet because it's really hard to work around lava. So we'll dig down one block deeper and put down another set of signs, just like we did up above. And then after that, we'll dig down 1, 2, 3 blocks, and then we'll hollow out this 3 by 3 square once again. After you've dug it out, it should look something like this: sign, space, sign, and then 3 air blocks. And this last layer that we're on is actually where we're going to be putting the storage. So let's dig into the wall here a little bit and put down a chest, and then we'll cover this floor with hoppers. So we'll have all the hoppers facing into that chest right there. And where that chest is, you don't have to have a chest. You can put like an auto dropper that dispenses items into an item elevator, or you can have a bunch more storage. It's really up to you. But I'm going to show you guys a simple way to expand your storage for very cheap. So basically, you just zigzag your chests like this, and then you put hoppers in that empty block. And basically, it'll all filter down, so the item will go into here, and then it'll flow all the way down to here. And you can expand that infinitely as far down to bedrock. So I'm going to fill in this area here just so the items aren't lost. But then I'm going to cover the hoppers in slabs. That way the iron golems are still technically in the lava. Get yourself on out of there. I recommend bringing some ender pearls. And then on this middle sign here, just put down 1 lava bucket, and it'll spread to cover the whole area. And now the farm is actually pretty much done. The last thing I recommend that you do is just fence off the area. It helps it look a little bit nicer, and it also prevents other mobs from getting into the system, which can mess up like auto sorting systems, and iron golems can like aggro towards them. So if we just keep the iron golems in there, then that's pretty much the whole farm. The only thing that we need to do now is just come up here, and the trapdoors that are facing the villagers, we open up, and you can see that they will start to freak out in a little bit here, and they will spawn an iron golem. This is easiestly shown at nighttime because you can see them panicking once they try to get in bed, but they get up, and as you can see there, an iron golem immediately spawned. He drops down into here and is funneled into the middle, and if we hop into spectator here, you see that he falls down into there, and his head is just barely staying in the lava right there, and so he will eventually burn and drop his iron into the chest right here. As you can see, it's starting to funnel in now. It's a super simple mob farm. You could probably build this within the first few hours of your Minecraft world, depending on if you want to use rails to get the villagers up here, and if you live close to a village. But yeah, that is the entire farm. This produces about 4 stacks of iron an hour, and it's a pretty straightforward farm. Thank you for watching. If you found this video helpful, please like it and subscribe to the channel for more Minecraft tutorials. There's always more to come. If you have any questions or suggestions, leave them down in the comments section below. With all that being said, I hope you enjoyed, and until next time, this is Dewlan, and I'll see you later. Bye now!